Hello and welcome to another round of Championship predictions from the Oz Football Podcast. I'm Craig Savage, and with me as always is Daniel Cody and Charlie Betts. Let's have a quick recap of the weekend's action, and it was a fantastic weekend for Daniel Cody. 3 perfect scores, as you can see on the screen. Myself and Charlie didn't get a single perfect score, but it was Daniel Cody's day. He got 12 points to Charlie Betts' 5 to my 4, so the table looks like this. I am on 262 points with 46 perfect scores. Daniel Cody is on 244 with 39 perfect scores. And Charlie Betts is 224 with 33 perfect scores. So let's start off with the first game on Tuesday night. It is Blackburn Rovers versus Swansea. Charlie Betts, Blackburn Rovers have won a game of football.
A vital win. Probably kept Tony Mowbray in a job at least to the end of the season, that win. But Swansea are grinding out wins. I mean, the last 2 games, they don't get much later, to be honest. And that's normally the form of a team that at least goes up. I think Norwich have probably got too big a gap. So it's the sort of form that gets you up. I just think I have to keep backing Swansea because even if they're not playing well, and albeit that will give Blackburn a bit of confidence, there's a reason that we call Blackburn erratic, and there's a reason that Swansea have just been grinding out wins, even against a run of play. So on that basis, Swansea usually score 2 goals. It's just whether Blackburn will get one or not. I'm going to bank on Blackburn getting one because a bit of buoyancy from today. So 2-1 Swansea.
Cody?
I don't really know what to go for this one after the Blackburn win because Tony Mowbray, we've seen with Blackburn all season, if they get on a run, they can be scintillating for a few weeks. I will just point out for my usual stat that both teams had slightly less possession and won their games on Saturday. But I have to back Swansea, the same as Charlie. What did you go for? 2-1?
2-1.
Oh, do you know what then? Screw it. I'm going to go for a thrilling draw, 2 apiece.
I'm going to go on the side of Charlie Betts on the Swansea win. They are grinding out victories, not spectacular. To be fair to them, they have got a bit of luck on this side. A dodgy penalty from Stoke game and a goal ruled out for Middlesbrough, which I generally don't know what was for, to be honest. So the luck's on their side. So Blackburn, great result away at Millwall. As I said, Millwall don't really lose at home, but vital win and needed to pick up points. Swansea are going to win this game for me. I'm going to go Swansea to win 2-0. Up next to the Kieran Prince Foundation Stadium, it's his Queen's Park Rangers versus Wickham. A very good signal victory for QPR codes.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I won't say we all saw it coming, but some of us saw it coming. And let's be fair, Nigel Pearson, he had a good start with Bristol City, but there was always going to be that game. And QPR away from home are one of those sides. So what worries me about this game is QPR are going to be at home against a side who want to defend deep and try and rely on set pieces, hit on the counter, which, to be fair to Wickham, they've done to effect at times. One of the problems I have with that is QPR have at times struggled to break those sides down. But despite that, I'm going to go for QPR to nick a win, just because, unfortunately, I think this result for Wickham will probably be the final nail in the coffin in terms of a chance to stay up. So I think there might be a bit of a confidence issue there, and I have to back QPR. Not going to be pretty, but I'm going to go for 1-0 to QPR.
Yeah, I have to agree, to be honest, what you just said, because Wickham, obviously, budget-wise, they're not obviously going to be on the level. Obviously, we know that as Luton fans, obviously, probably got the second lowest budget anyway compared to Wickham. It's just trying to find their way, obviously, getting through games, and obviously, they're finding it tough. They are finding it tough. Everything's a learning curve, so it's obviously it just proves the quality in the squad is still League One standard, I'm afraid. I mean, that's not being critical to Wickham. It's a great achievement, they're obviously in the Championship anyway, but it's not a dig. QPR are going to win this game, in my opinion, but it'll be a lot tighter than you think. I'm going to go 2-1 to Queen's Park Rangers. Charlie?
Yeah, I agree with you. A QPR win, I think you said a lot of it. Just to even Stoke necessarily haven't been the most informed. Wickham only managed 2 shots on target against them. So it's that kind of stuff that worries you a little bit about Wickham away from home. At home, different proposition, but away from home, I think they are struggling. And on that basis, I think this result will flatter QPR. I think QPR will win 3-0, but I think it'll be a tight game. But I think, like you probably said, Dan, about it being last chance saloon a little bit, Wickham might have to come out in the second half, leave a few gaps. So I think, unfortunately, 3-0, but I don't think it'll be a 3-0 result, if that makes sense.
And the final game is at Oakwell. It's Barnsley versus Derby County. Charlie, just looking at the stats with Derby, 7 shots, but only 1 on target. And when you're playing a team around them in the table, you've got to do a lot better.
Yeah, I think they'll be disappointed. I mean, Coventry have been better at home, as we alluded to. I don't know. Derby have been a bit of a mixed bag. I think they'll be all right, but Barnsley are in scintillating form. As I say, there's always this caveat, though, that I just think with the Championship, it does throw up those odd results. I predicted them this weekend and it didn't happen once, so I'm not going to do that again. But you have to back Barnsley. Derby, they do worry me a bit. I think they'll be fine because there's too many other teams that are down there that are probably in worse form, but they are very hit and miss, and I can't see them hitting against Barnsley. So on that basis, Barnsley will win fairly comfortable, because I think Derby, when they concede early, they do go. And we did say that, actually, that Derby concede early, they tend to lose. So Barnsley are better up front. I'm going to go for a second one, 3-0.
Cody, Barnsley now in the playoffs. Sky's the limit for them at the moment.
It is, but we've seen with a lot of teams this season, when they get to that position where they've got something to hold on to, there's often a dip. We've seen it with Brentford. We've seen it with Swansea to an extent when they played Huddersfield. And we saw it towards the end of last season. It's a classic thing that happens in a championship. So you have to wonder, even though this would normally be probably on the last 3 months a home banker for Barnsley, will this be the week? I don't know, because Derby have gone back to their sort of early season form. They had more possession to date. They had less chances and only one at the target, as you said. Barnsley were fantastic. The goal from DK was brilliant as well. I've got a nagging feeling that this is going to be the week where, because they're in that top six now, it's going to happen. So against all my better judgment, I'm going for the Championship's favourite scoreline of 1 apiece. I have no idea where the Derby goal's coming from, though.
My opinion, I think Barnsley are obviously head and shoulders above Derby, to be honest. I'm thoroughly impressed with this Barnsley side, ruthless. And to be fair, when we spoke back in October, November, when previous manager left, we was thinking, do you think Barnsley will survive, let alone be in the top six? So it's a massive achievement for them. And I hope they carry on, to be fair, ruffle a few feathers in that playoff hunt. And I think they're going to carry on with this, to be honest. I think they're going to win this game 2-0. Let's have a quick recap of what we just predicted. I've gone 2-0 Swansea. Charlie Best has gone 2-1 to Swansea and 2-2 for Daniel Cody. QPR Wickham, I've gone 2-1 QPR. Charlie's gone by 3-0, convincing win for QPR. And a 1-0 victory for QPR for Daniel Cody. And Barnsley Derby, Daniel Cody's gone for a 1-1 draw. And myself and Charlie have picked up victories for Barnsley. And those are predictions for this midweek. Do you agree with us or disagree with us? Let us know in the comment section down below. And while you're down there, give this video a like, subscribe to the Honest Football Podcast, and click the notification bell for regular content from us. You can follow us on Twitter at Honest Football 3, and we'll see you next time.